Well, JO7 supervision in a regulated environment. I'll go through the module areas in a moment, but just to say that the syllabus that I will cover will be relevant to both the April and the July examinations in 2010. Any changes following those examinations we'll keep you up to date with. Those syllabus areas covered for the JO7 are the characteristics and role of a supervisor, leadership and behaviour models, communication, the legal and regulatory aspects of training and competence, the way individuals learn, coaching, counselling and assessing, the role of compliance in the sales process, setting and measuring objectives, management information and quality standards, and employment and performance management legislation. Now, the examiner can test on any of those areas or all of those areas, so you just can't focus on an element or one or two of those areas. You have to focus on all of those areas and understand all of those areas. There will always be questions on communication, behaviour and learning models, so get to know those inside out, and also how they apply practically in a working environment. So you need to understand the models and how they apply in everyday working life. I would also say it's important to understand the regulatory side of things as well, so employment law and things such as fit and proper and complaints process, all the things that sit inside of the regulatory framework. So everyone will have a preferred learning style, and if you don't know what your preferred learning style is, we've got a very helpful questionnaire on the site that you can answer very quickly, only takes a couple of moments, and it will respond to you and give you your preferred and appropriate learning style. But there are tips and hints that are appropriate whatever your preferred learning style. And if you're not going on a crammer course for say 5 days, which will cover the whole of the subject area, then get yourself a learning plan. Devise a plan where you break down into bite-sized chunks all the areas that you need to know about. Be realistic about that as well. So don't plan in loads of time in a particular week when you know that you've got other commitments, because it just won't work. So make it realistic and something that will work for you, and stick to that plan. And tick off those areas once you've revised them and you're happy with the revision that you've done. Also, once you've read a chapter, test yourself on that chapter. Close your study guide and then write down as many things as you can remember around that chapter. And then go back to the chapter and then analyse the areas that you've missed and those areas you know that you've got to do a little bit more study on. JO7 is different because it is around supervision. So even if you work as a supervisor in a regulated environment, you have to understand the syllabus, because there will be things in there that, although you probably apply a lot of these in theory, you won't know a number of the models. So the areas that I think you need to pay particular attention to are communication, the behavioural, the learning modules, and how they apply practically in situations that you'll come across in your everyday work. The other area is around regulatory knowledge. So understand processes such as the complaints process, understand fit and proper. So they're the two specific areas that I would spend a little bit more time on. Like most papers, people don't read the question properly. They read it very quickly and they start to answer the question before they've really understood what the question is looking for. And that is vital, because you can waste a lot of time by answering the question in the wrong way. So read the question not only once but twice. Read all the questions before you attempt to answer any question, because sometimes that will give you a prompt to answer other questions, or it will in fact give you the answer to questions that are previous in the paper. So read the entire question paper before you start to attempt any. What I would say as well is identify those questions that you know you can answer well, and you know that you've got the information there and you can answer those questions and maximise your marks on those questions. That will also give you confidence to attempt the other questions on that paper that perhaps you don't feel as confident in answering. The JO7 module is different to the other modules because it is in a supervisory aspect. But even if you do it on a day-to-day basis, make sure that you do understand all the syllabus areas and do your preparation, because if you fail to prepare to fail.